Welcome to Business as a Magical Practice, where your business is the vehicle for your self-integration and soul evolution. My name is Sam Garcia, and I'm the founder of Dirty Alchemy Digital Marketing. And I'll be guiding you through how you can use your business as a spiritual practice and what magical businesses are doing to hit their goals and change the world. Together, we'll be relating the mystical to the world of business so that our work can unite spirit and matter, shadow and light, conscious and unconscious. Let's dive in.
Hello, hello. We are here with another episode, another very special episode, and it is so amazing to think that we've been together now for 44 episodes. Just a reminder that very special episodes come to you every 11 episodes, and they're a bit more casual, behind the scenes, slightly off topic, and I always have a good time. So hopefully you're having a good time too. So you guys, we're coming up on the 1-year anniversary of doing this podcast. And I am so grateful for where it's taken me and Dirty Alchemy. I've met so many amazing people because of this medium. And it's really been such a magical way to connect with other business owners and you. So today, as I said, a very special episode, which means I'm sharing my favorite things at the moment and answering your questions. And then towards the end of the episode, I'm going to share an important tool for tapping into your intuition so your business can grow and just you can feel all around amazing. So let us start with favorite things. So these past few weeks have been, let's just say, intense. And I am recording in real time right now. So if you're listening to this near the published date of this episode, which is April 22nd, 2021, then maybe you're feeling this too. I feel like everyone I'm talking to right now is like, this is a fucking intense week, or last week was at least. We'll see how this week goes. And we actually just found out that our tiny Chihuahua mix, Iki, may have to get surgery. So my ears are perked for healing magic or pet-centered magic to help him heal. If you know anything, please DM me on Instagram. He pretty much has to be on bed rest for the next 2 to 4 weeks, which if you're a dog owner, especially a small dog owner, you know that this is quite a challenge. So we have some drugs from the vet to try and keep him sedated. But so far it's hit or miss day in, day out of like, how do we actually keep him on bed rest? How do you keep a small dog on bed rest? We'll see how it goes. So send your prayers. Send me any insight you have. I would really, really, really appreciate it. Anyways, I've really been relying on my self-care and taking time for things that have been speaking to my heart. Finally found a massage therapist that's walking distance from our house that is fantastic and specializes in working with local people instead of tourists on Maui. So that feels pretty big and applicable here. But favorite thing number one, official favorite thing number one of this episode is this One Wild and Precious Life, The Path to Connection in a Fractured World, which is a book by Sarah Wilson that just came out this year. This One Wild and Precious Life link is in the show notes. And this was a book that I was really sad to complete. I just really appreciate her message and her poetic writing style. I've been a Sarah Wilson fangirl for years. I found her through her I Quit Sugar movement and Empire and book series and all the things, and was then blown away by her book called First We Make the Beast Beautiful, a new story about anxiety. Really, really, really good if you're someone who gets anxious or has anxiety or feels anxiety from time to time. It is or any mental, quote unquote, mental health disorder. I highly recommend that book too. It is very good. It is also very poetic and research heavy. Anyways, back to this One Wild and Precious Life. It is a deep dive into the climate emergency, climate crisis, along with memoirs and stories, linking it to loneliness and disconnection in our modern world, and consumerism and capitalism. And it sounds like it'll be a super dense read, but it really isn't. It flies by just because she's just an amazing, amazing writer, and loops in all the stories. So please go listen to it if you're intrigued by it, because I was definitely emblazoned by it. So it's actually free on Scribd if you have, or Scribd, Scribd, SCRIBD. I don't know how to pronounce that. I have an account. I think it's like $9 a month, and you get access to a ton of audiobooks and books on there. It's free to listen to on there, so definitely go listen. On to favorite thing number 2. So favorite thing number 2 is Simple Shui. There we go. Simple Shui group consult. So I'm taking a feng shui group course with episode 34 guest Amanda Gibby Peters of Simple Shui. It's very good. I'm really, really enjoying it. It's a deeper than surface level dive into feng shui, and with lots and lots of room to ask personalized questions about my space, about the spaces of the other people in the group. And I wanted to share one of her lessons that she gave to us. I think it was week 3. It's 6 weeks long. And this was her entire lesson on clutter. I mean, we all know that clutter is not good, right? We all know that it's negative metaphorically. It's not good for our physical and mental health, but we all have it, right? Or at least most of us. At least I do. So some practical tips Amanda gave was to ask these questions before buying something or bringing something home. 1, will this fill an immediate need? So this is like, obviously, get rid of the clutter that is in your house, donate it, reuse it, figure out a new home for it. But then the second part of this is prevent future clutter from coming into your house. So that's what we're really talking about here. So question number 1 to ask, like, let's say you're at the store or you're on Amazon and you see something shiny and new and oh, so exciting. Ask yourself, will this fill an immediate need? Right? Because a lot of times we're buying things just because, or for like some future what if scenario. So will this fill an immediate need? Question number 2 is, do I have the time and energy to maintain this? Such a good question. Do I have the time and energy to maintain this? So maybe you're thinking about that cashmere sweater or that dry clean needed outfit, but you'll never go to a dry cleaner. Probably don't get that because they'll just get ruined and end up in the dump. And then question number 3, final question, is, am I willing to let go of something else to get this? Am I willing to let go of something else to get this thing? So if I had to get rid of something in order to bring this home, would I still do it? And I mean, the purpose of this last question isn't actually like you have to go and get rid of that thing, unless you have like an agreement with yourself about that. But it's more about the mental exercise of, do I really need this thing? Do I really want this thing? Is it worth it? Would I give up something else in order to get it? So those are 3 questions that she gave us on the topic of clutter to prevent more clutter from entering into your space. So tons and tons of info there. If you haven't listened to the Amanda Gibby Peters episode on, I think it's called Feng Shui for Love and Success, for Success in Love and Business, I believe. It is episode 34. We'll link to it in the show notes. It's really good. One of my favorite episodes so far. Okay, on to favorite thing number 3, and that is somatic decolonization. This last month, I hired Letty Sullivan of the Goddess Ministry to lead my team through somatic decolonization work. It's been something that's been blaringly obvious that it's needed in the last couple months, and I was just really grateful to hire her at the end of March when we did. A lot of shit got kicked up this month, and having someone to talk to that we trusted and already knew was so useful, so useful. And I mean, they're really the reason why I wanted to hire her in the first place is I really wanted to make sure that I feel a lot of responsibility as a marketer in influencing the collective. One of the reasons I got into marketing in the first place is like you hear of Monsanto and Coca-Cola spending billions of dollars on marketing and advertising. Like if those sorts of entities are going to spend that much money on marketing, we also need good-hearted, amazing, catalytic people and businesses to have an amazing level of marketing and marketing strategy so that we can also be a part of influencing the collective. It's not just Coca-Cola brainwashing everyone. Those are my opinions. I'm assuming you agree. So I came into marketing with that recognition and belief that marketing and communications and advertising plays into what is being talked about in the collective, are the words we use. You're a magical person, so you know our words are spells. That's why it's called spelling. So the whole purpose of this somatic decolonization and making sure that my team had the resources in place within themselves and within their work so that we are not going to cause harm, right? We don't know what we don't know. Okay, how do we know more? We get trained. We work with someone. We do the work ourselves. And more than doing harm, I actually don't really love that terminology. It's like, of course we don't want to do harm. No one wants to do harm. But beyond that, how do we do good? How do we make it so that our words and our work create change, right? It's not just about not doing harm. It's about doing good. So we're working with Letty Sullivan on that. She's amazing. And if anyone hasn't really dug into anti-racism work, feel free to steal Letty's advice and go read or listen to My Grandmother's Hands, Racialized Trauma and the Pathway to Mending Our Hearts by Resmaa Menakem. We'll link to it in the show notes. I keep on saying that over and over again. It is a really good book. She actually recommended the audiobook over the actually reading it because there are a lot of somatic embodied exercises and guided meditations that he actually takes you through. And when you can't go forward in the audiobook without doing the exercise, like that's the whole point of the book. That's the whole point of the work is doing it within your own body. I actually pulled some really good quotes that speak directly to this. And there were so many good quotes to choose from. There are 4. I think I chose 4. I did choose 4. They're kind of long, but you're going to love them. So I'm going to read them. And it's a beautiful, compassionate, heart-opening book. Highly recommend it. It's so good. So quote number 1 from Resmaa is, a key factor in the perpetuation of white body supremacy, and instead of a white person, his terminology is white-bodied person or black-bodied person. So that's a part of his languaging within the book. So a key factor in the perpetuation of white body supremacy is many people's refusal to experience clean pain around the myth of race. Instead, usually out of fear, they choose the dirty pain of silence and avoidance and invariably prolong the pain. So good, right? Okay, the next one is, years as a healer and trauma therapist have taught me that trauma isn't destiny. The body, not the thinking brain, is where we experience most of our pain, pleasure, and joy, and where we process most of what happens to us. It is also where we do most of our healing, including our emotional and psychological healing. And it is where we experience resilience and a sense of flow. Okay. So, next one is, I especially want to draw white Americans' attention to this. White fragility is a lie, a dodge, a myth, and a form of denial. White Americans can create culture that confronts and dismantles white body supremacy. Any suggestion that they are unable to rise to this challenge is a lie. White Americans are anything but helpless or fragile. They are, of course, precisely as capable as other human beings, but they need to refuse to dodge the responsibility of confronting white body supremacy or the responsibility of growing up. So I'll take a breath there, right? Okay, my fourth and final quote for you from Resmaa Menakem from My Grandmother's Hands. We will not end white body supremacy or any other form of human evil by trying to tear it to pieces. Instead, we can offer people better ways to belong and better things to belong to. Instead of belonging to a race, we can belong to a culture. Each of us can also build our own capacity for genuine belonging. So good. And obviously, check out Letty's work and many offerings at www.lettysullivan.com or at Goddess Ministry on Instagram. I will definitely have her on the podcast in a future date. But in the meantime, go and check out her work. I think she made a custom proposal for us to work with our team. She usually works one-on-one. Or like comes into people's masterminds and teaches, but it's been really, really good to have her working with the entire team here. So check her out. It's a great, great, great resource. So on to your questions. Question number 1, what is the number one biggest mindset work everyone should do during a launch? Does it change from your first launch to later launches? Okay, so number one thing to do during a launch is mindset work. I mean, that's kind of inherent in the question, maybe not super obvious to people. We create marketing assets and launch assets ahead of time for clients. So then when they're actually going into the launch, they don't have anything to do, right? I mean, it's just like posting or responding to things that are coming in, celebrating. So all they really have to do in that open spaciousness is make sure that their mindset and their magic is in check. And for some people, that's actually harder than if they were creating everything in a hustle and a bustle during a launch. Like if they had to work on an email that day that had to go out tomorrow or that exact day, then they could distract themselves from the fact that they have fears coming up and discomfort and pain coming up, fear of visibility, all of these things that is just like mucked up during a launch. So it can actually be a very advanced magical practice to actually get your launch stuff done, all the emails, all the social media posts, all the graphics done ahead of time, so that they just go out during a launch and then you're just not stuck. You have the opportunity to really focus on the mindset work. It's pretty powerful. So first launch, you really don't know what to expect. You said you have expectations and goals, but you really don't know what to expect because you've never launched before. You've never tested the conversion of your audience in this way. And you don't realize the emotional roller coaster that is a launch because it is just this condensed window of selling. Just keeping yourself focused on being of service is really useful, focusing on your goal and the potentiality of it and how, of course, you're going to be supported by all of your guides and the universe in order to hit your goal, because what you've created, the offer that you've created, is mind-blowing and life-changing. So of course people are going to sign up. Then later in launches, like let's say you've done a launch before and it was fine. You did a fine launch or a failed launch. You actually need to come at it with as much fervor as before to make sure that your brain isn't going to assume that it's going to not do well again, because launches tend to get better. They tend to get better and better because we learn in the process of launching. That's why I always say relaunching is so much easier than launching. But let's say you've launched before, they've been good, they've been great, the mindset, you don't, the mindset during future launches is not as big of a freak out emotional roller coaster, because you kind of expect that it's coming. You have the tools in place to focus on when it actually comes up, or you've been like, okay, well, last time 50% of my buyers came in on the last day, so like maybe that'll happen again. It's not a big deal. I don't get to the last day and freak out that only half of my goal has been hit. So that's a roundabout way of explaining this. But basically, mindset focuses that I recommend clients to work on during launches is focus on your goal, the inevitability of hitting the goal. Of course, you're going to be supported. Of course, this is of service and of the highest good. And really explaining to yourself why hitting this big goal is of service to you, and why you're worthy of it, and why you're worthy of this money that will come in because of it, and why you deserve to be supported in that way, and really reinforcing to yourself again and again why that is supposed to be. Okay, question number 2. You talk a lot about systems and automations. I'm wondering what the easiest automations are for someone who is just starting to get systems into place in their business. Are there automations I can start doing today? I mean, if you have no automations in place, the number one automation is make sure you have an email opt-in or a lead magnet or an opt-in freebie, whatever you want to call it, and a way to capture emails to get people onto an email list. Super obvious one, super beginner one. So whether you're using ConvertKit or MailChimp or Ontraport or Kajabi or wherever to collect emails for your email marketing, most of them have a way for you to create an opt-in box, an opt-in form. There we go. That's the right word for that. And pretty much what you're doing is you are explaining on the opt-in page why you want this amazing gift, and have a form to collect their first name and their email address, and the email service provider will, when it receives that, when someone fills out the form, the email service provider will automatically send them a welcome email and put them on your email list. So that is a way of automatically capturing leads that potentially want to work with you in the future. So that is basic level automation that we recommend. Obviously, there's ways to automate all sorts of things in your business, like scheduling Instagram posts or scheduling email nurture sequences, so you can actually have multiple emails that go out when people opt in, or when they take certain actions on a page, you can send certain emails, or you can automate scheduling a call with someone by using Calendly or Acuity in order to give them a time that for someone else to book, so you don't have to go back and forth with people. But again, base level number one thing I recommend is that email opt-in. Do you have that set up? Okay. Question number 3, where do I find a good VA or online business manager? I'm having such a hard time finding the perfect person, and I don't know where to look. I get this question all the time. So my favorite places to look or find or attract your very first hire, whether that's a VA or an OBM or something else, is to first and foremost ask for referrals. So if you have other entrepreneurial friends, or you're a coach and you have people in your coaching certification class, or different Facebook groups where entrepreneurs exist, you can go and ask people for their referrals. Do you have a VA that you like? Do you have an OBM that you recommend? That's my number one favorite thing, because usually people, like, their reputation is on the line, so they're not gonna share someone who's shitty. Option number 2 is I kind of already mentioned this, but look for aligned Facebook groups. So if you are a magical or online community, so if you're a magical online business owner and you want a remote VA who's also into spirituality and magic, make sure you're posting your post into Facebook groups or Mighty Network communities or forums or whatever that are aligned in values. And again, asking for referrals, because then people's reputations are on the line, and they're not going to recommend shitty people. The last one is to ask your audience. So if you have a large social media following or you have a large email list, then you can actually create your job description, create an application form, and send that out to your email list or post it on social media. This is really great because you know that they're already fans, you know that they already understand your work. So this can be a really great fit, but it does have the caveat of you have to already have a following. You have to already have an audience. But I mean, even if you have a small one, I recommend trying that one out too. I do have a ridiculously thorough guide within the Alchemical Business Intensive for hiring. And it was actually so much fun to have those in the group who were ready to go through their first hiring, and seeing them manifest their dream VA or OBM. It was like such a dream for me to like see that in our Facebook community of like, oh my gosh, I found my unicorn team member. It was just really precious, and not precious. I feel like that's like a kind of condescending word. So special, and it really lit me up and was so fun to see and celebrate. On the other side of this, my magical side of this is make sure you're working with your resistance of being supported. That's really big if you're having a hard time finding someone to support you. So check in on your limiting beliefs or your blocks that could be preventing this. So maybe you don't, or like sisterhood wounds. That's another good one. Like if you don't have many girlfriends and you like hanging out with guys more so than girls for sisterhood wound reasons, like you're probably gonna have to deal with that if you want to hire a woman onto your team. But other ones would be letting go of control. That's a big one to look at. Being able to trust someone. Like, do you have any experience with working with untrustworthy people and you're afraid of that coming in again? And then I actually asked Amanda Gibby Peters about this on our feng shui group consult thing about this specifically. Like how can we use feng shui to streamline and smooth the process of hiring our very first hire? And she said to put some attention into the love and relationship corner of the bagua, and that is your back, the back. If you're like facing in from your front door, that would be your back right corner. And then also to look at your helpful people's quadrant or gua, whatever it's called, of the bagua, which is when you're facing in, looking in from your front door, it is, and you imagine your space cut up into 9 equal sections. It's going to be on your right, and I don't want to get this wrong. I'm going to totally look this up right now, you guys. You can also just like Google search Bagua, Bagua, for images of this. It's like how you separate out your house. Okay, I was totally going to be right. So embarrassing. So it is on your the right side of your house in the closest to you corner. So that if you're facing in from the front door, it's like the closest corner on your right. Okay, so spend some love and attention over there and set some intentions. Okay, so question number 4, our final question. How can I make sure my business isn't getting fucked over by the Instagram algorithm? Okay, well, I know who sent this, so I can like kind of speak directly to her. Consistent posting is a big one. So if you launch something and then go radio silent for weeks, that's going to be a problem. So being consistent with your posting is important. Also, if you have trigger-worthy content, like using sexual terms or using a ton of curse words and things that can be thought of as offensive, you might want to actually modify your message a little bit and modify your wording. And I know, like this is censorship, this is shitty, but we don't own social media. Social media owns us. No, I'm kidding. Social media is its own advertising platform for itself, essentially. So we don't control it, and we have to modify ourselves to sometimes take advantage of it, which, yes, again, shitty. And that is why I do suggest growing an email list so you can own your audience. And we've talked about that in previous episodes. Or you can also focus on content marketing. So actually creating a blog or a podcast that is Google searchable, that when people, it can be SEO'd so that when people are searching for things, your website comes up. And also YouTube, while it is technically, it kind of leans towards social media channel, it is actually a search engine. That's ultimately what it is. And it's owned by Google. So algorithms change less with YouTube than, at least right now, than Instagram or Facebook. So you might want to start switching over to more consistent, reliable channels like email, content marketing, YouTube. And you don't have to rely on companies with ever-changing algorithms. Ooh, so to close out today, my friends, if you haven't yet, I really recommend downloading our free guide, The 8 Phases of a Numinous Launch. It's all about how you can use the moon's phases for each of your launches to empower you to make sure you are taking time to also reset and recoup after a crazy season in your business. This month, I've been guiding the women in the Alchemical Business Intensive through rituals based on each phase of the moon, and multiple women have come to me saying they feel so much more intuitive and connected to not only nature and the world, but also to their business and their mission, because they are taking this time to really connect with the moon on a somatic level. So I highly recommend downloading the 8 Phases of a Numinous Launch. It's an easy PDF guide to go through and really guide your launches, because this stuff is important. This could totally transform your next launch, and I'm all about making your business more efficient and productive. Triple Virgo over here. But such a big part of that is taking time to reset, just like the moon does. You can get this guide at thedirtyalchemy.com/phases. And again, it's totally free, so you don't have an excuse not to download it. Go do that now. And thank you so much for joining me for another very special episode. Next week, we have a really exciting episode where I'm interviewing Natalie Olson, the numerology chick, that's what she goes by, about how to use numerology in your business. I promise you don't want to miss that. So make sure you subscribe to the podcast. And while you're here, I invite you to rate and review the podcast. This helps other magical business owners find us, and I will be so grateful to you for doing that. It takes like 2 seconds. Just open up the podcast on your phone or wherever you're listening to it and click those stars. Maybe write a really sweet thing. I'd love to read it. Okay, so that is all for today, and I will see you next Thursday.